This is my first video update coming to you from Nicosia, Cyprus on this Saturday. Let's talk about what is going on in the world today. And that was Russian President Vladimir Putin stepping off a plane, running, pretty much running down the stairs as he arrived in Ufa for various meetings. And Putin sure looked pretty healthy there, didn't he? Running down those stairs off that airplane. Doesn't look like he's suffering from too many ailments. Of course, it's just a couple of seconds clip, but he looked all right to me. I don't know. I don't know. A lot of podcasts are starting to float around the idea that Putin is sick and he is suffering from a terrible disease, but he didn't look too shaky there. Maybe, just maybe, the collective West media is trying to project the ailments of their leaders onto Putin. I don't know. Just a thought. So let's talk about missile strikes. We had more missile strikes today in Ukraine. From what I understand, though it may be too early to be 100% on these latest missile strikes, but from what I understand, we're talking about Iskanders and drones. Kiev, Kharkov, Dnipro. These areas were hit, and I think that the energy electric company in Kiev is now talking about more blackouts and stuff like that. It's really interesting. I was going through some of the comments. I think either on the Duran video or Alexander's videos, and someone asked the question in the comment section. It's been a while since Russia has launched a missile strike. It's been like a couple of weeks, and then someone responded to that comment saying, yeah, it's because Russia has no more missiles. They've run out of weapons. And that was just yesterday. And then I wake up today and you get another missile strike in Kiev. And actually, from what I understand, Bennigan's American Fair Irish Hospitality. Number of people allowed, 75. 2 meter, keep the distance. From what I understand, this is just the beginning of an even bigger missile strike that may be coming, at least according to Kiev authorities. They are saying, here's the menu for Bennigan's. A halloumi fries was €6.45. Let's see, how much was a burger? A burger was €12.15 for the bomb burger. A cheeseburger was €9.95 at Bennigan's. So the Kiev authorities, they're very worried about the fact that Russia may be planning a missile strike, which will number around 100 missiles. They say that Kalibra missiles from the north of Belarus may be coming into play. Kalibra missiles from the Black Sea may be coming into play. And there were reports that in this latest missile salvo that some of the missiles came from the north. But I don't want to say that's 100%. Once again, this is very, very early reports of these missile strikes in Kiev. So as the day goes along, and maybe even towards the evening or tomorrow, we'll probably get a better idea as to what were the results of this missile strike and where exactly these missiles came from and what was used. But there is fear that the next missile strike will be a big one, a very, very big one, at least according to the Kiev authorities. Once again, projection of of the collective West's demilitarization onto Russia, perhaps, because you keep on running into this narrative that Russia is running out of missiles. And every time someone says Russia's running out of missiles, it's almost like magic. Something happens, and the next day Russia hits Ukraine with another missile attack. And the only side that seems to be running out of weapons is the collective West. I was watching Tucker Carlson yesterday, and he ran a story, very quick, like just a minute long, where he said that the Secretary of the Navy in the United States, is there such a government position? Yeah, the U.S. Secretary of the Navy, Carlos del Toro. He said that the U.S. is indeed running out of its own stocks of weapons. Quote, due to the growing arms shortage over the next 6 months, the U.S. Navy may have to decide whether to arm itself or Ukraine. So we're not talking about the U.S. like giving up, weapons that they've had sitting in some warehouse for 50 years. The U.S. is actually dipping into the weapons they need to keep the United States secure. Like the real weapons that keep the United States safe. That's what the U.S. is now dipping into. And this is coming from the U.S. Secretary of Navy. He's saying we're going to have to make a choice soon. Do we deplete the U.S. weapons stockpiles for Ukraine or what? I think the answer is simple. I think the answer is very simple. The U.S. Navy may have to decide whether to arm itself or Ukraine. We all know the answer to that. Ukraine, of course. That's what the politicians are going to answer. Ukraine. Secretary Del Toro, where have you been? Oh, boy. So, projection. Projection of running out of weapons. Who is really running out of weapons? That is the question. The Zelensky curse, did it strike again, and did it knock out the German defense minister? Because she is resigning. At least that's what the reports are saying. She is calling it quits. And the reason she's calling it quits, she's actually leaving on her own, according to Bild. This is Christine Lambrecht. She made the decision of her own volition, according to Bild. Neither the government nor the defense minister has officially commented on the reported move so far that she is resigning. The reports follow a major scandal that saw opposition politicians and journalists calling for Lambrecht's immediate dismissal. The uproar was sparked by her ill-fated New Year's Eve address, in which she said that the conflict between Moscow and Kiev had given her many special impressions and allowed her to meet many interesting and great people. Her speech was immediately lambasted as embarrassing and inappropriate. The leaders of the biggest opposition bloc, the union, then accused Scholz of making Lambrecht the defense minister to further weaken the German armed forces, which have been struggling with personnel shortages and equipment malfunctions for years. You know who else was defense minister for Germany? Ursula von der Crazy. Yeah, she once held that title. The defense minister for Ukraine, a man who goes by the name of Reznikov. Well, he gave an interview to the BBC, and he said that Ukraine is already a de facto member of NATO. This is what he told the BBC. Reznikov added that he was sure Kiev's formal accession to the alliance was not far off. Quote, Ukraine as a country and the armed forces of Ukraine became a member of NATO de facto not de jure, because we have weaponry and the understanding of how to use it, Reznikov said. He told the BBC he was certain Kiev would soon receive more powerful equipment from the West, including Western-made battle tanks and fighter jets. Wow. The concern about the next level of escalation for me is some kind of protocol, the minister said. He also denied that his comments would be seen as controversial amid the West's attempt to avoid being viewed as a party to the fighting. Why would it be controversial? It's true. It's a fact, Reznikov said, commenting on Kiev's relations with NATO and the West's military support of Ukraine. I'm sure that in the near future, we'll become a member of NATO de jure, the minister added. This is the same guy that, let me cross here, at Cyprus casinos. This is the minister that said last week that I almost crossed too early. He said last week that, according to a TV channel in Ukraine, that Ukraine is fighting for NATO, not fighting for Ukraine, fighting for NATO. He was like, yeah, we are the ones that are fighting on behalf of NATO. And now he comes up with this statement saying that Ukraine is already a de facto member of NATO. Perhaps he's right. That's the defense minister of Ukraine. Does this help Ukraine's position vis-a-vis Russia, or does it worsen it? Because the Russians are going to pick up on this interview and say, well, there you have it. The defense minister is saying that Ukraine is going to get into NATO. They're already a de facto member of NATO. So what are we talking about with regards to whether Russia was provoked into this conflict or not provoked? I mean, you have the defense minister saying it, and doesn't this mean that does this mean that perhaps, given the fact that Ukraine is, according to the Minister of Defense, a de facto member, does it mean that eventually NATO is going to be called in to intervene? Is that what we can gain from Reznikov's statement? Is that what we're to assume? That sooner or later, as a de facto member and an eventual member of NATO, that eventually NATO is going to step in? Is that what Reznikov is trying to say? Are those Reznikov's hopes? Is that what he's hoping for? Duda was in Lviv. The Polish president was in Lviv just the other day. And check out this video of the Polish president walking the streets of Lviv. And you tell me if this does not look like a president greeting his people. Take a look at this video. This video, it could have been spontaneous, organic. Maybe it was staged or set up. Maybe it was a little of both. But does it really matter? What you saw in that video was the president of Poland walking the streets of a city that wants to be a part of Poland, feels like it's a part of Poland. I don't know. I mean, that was rock star treatment. That was rock star treatment. What does that tell you about what's going to happen? When you see a video like that, when you see President Duda, who's not really, we're not talking about like a rock star president. This isn't like the days of, say, I don't know, remember Obama when he was like at that rock star status, when he was really hyped up, like the first year of his presidency, and everyone was like, really just, hyped up with Obama, right? He was a celebrity, the celebrity. And he would go around the world or around cities in the United States, whatever. And everyone was just, flocking to see him and take photos and stuff like that. This is before he actually started to govern and everyone realized what a disaster he was. But, before that, he was a rock star president. This is Duda. Duda's never had this rock star gravitas to him. He's, you're pretty standard European politician, And here he is walking in Lviv, and the people are like, they're taking out their phones and they're snapping photos and videos, and they're gathering around him to greet him. Yeah, it could be staged, but even if it's staged, it's sending the message that here I am with my people in my city. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think? I see a video like that and I say, oh boy, something's a-cooking. We're going to get a 10th sanctions package that is coming down the pipe. And in this sanctions package, I don't know where I'm walking to, by the way. I'm just kind of walking. Just kind of walking here. In Cyprus, there's an area in Cyprus called Engomi. Still Nicosia, but it's like on the fringes of, say, Nicosia city center. But we're going to have a 10th sanctions package, and in this sanctions package, the European Union is struggling to figure out what they're going to sanction what they're going to sanction Russia over. They're trying to find stuff, and so the nuclear option of this 10th sanctions package is to sanction Russia's nuclear energy industry. Like, this is going to be the nuclear option of the 10th sanctions package, and a lot of this 10th sanctions package is being driven by, take a guess which two countries are driving this 10th sanctions package. Poland and Lithuania. I talked about the Lublin Triangle, Poland, Lithuania, Ukraine. Once again, Duda's trip to Lviv. Lithuania was also there. Poland and Lithuania are driving for a 10th sanctions package, and they are calling on the EU to impose restrictions on Russia's nuclear industry as part of this 10th sanctions package. This is according to Reuters. They're also calling for more boycotts of media and what else? And removing more Russian banks from SWIFT. But it's the nuclear. It's the sanctioning of Russia's nuclear industry. That's the big one, because a lot of EU countries are working with Russian nuclear energy companies, like a lot, and they've been pushing back on this nuclear option of sanctioning Russian nuclear industry. Let's see, what is Reuters saying? Let's see here. One diplomat told Reuters that it's more and more difficult to get the necessary unanimity in the EU for more sanctions. According to Reuters, the EU is mulling a proposal to blacklist Rosatom's leadership as a first step that should then result in curtailing the bloc's cooperation with Russia's nuclear industry. In the eastern part of the EU, nations such as Bulgaria, the Czech Republic, and Hungary are heavily reliant on nuclear energy from Russia to run the power plants that produce up to half of the electricity they need. Hungary has 4 Russian-built nuclear reactors and has plans for another 2 to be built by Rosatom. Rosatom is the Russian state nuclear energy company, energy major. So that's going to be the 10th Russian energy. That's going to be the 10th sanctions package targeting Russian nuclear energy. No reverse gear. No reverse gear whatsoever. So you had one more story, and we'll get to our clown world. So you had the Prime Minister of Japan. He was meeting with Joe Bidenopoulos, Greece's favorite son in the United States. Actually, he's the Prime Minister of Japan is, from what I understand, he is traveling to like most of the G7 countries. He's on like a tour of the G7 countries. And this is what Biden and Kishida, this is the statement that they made during their meeting. They said that any possible use of nuclear weapons by Russia in Ukraine would be an act of hostility against all of humanity that cannot be justified. Do I need to comment on this? This is what a US president and a Japanese prime minister said. Any use of nuclear weapons by Russia and Ukraine would be an act of hostility against all of humanity that cannot be justified. Ah, boy. Should I read you Medvedev's reply to this statement? Dmitry Medvedev. Let me, one sec. Let me get off of the street so I don't get hit by a truck. That would not be fun. Let's see here. Medvedev said, This is such a monstrous shame that I will not even comment on the paranoia about the nuclear plans of our state. Think about it. The head of the Japanese government, in a humiliating, loyal ecstasy, is talking nonsense about Russia, having betrayed the memory of hundreds of thousands of Japanese who were burned in the nuclear fire of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And Kishida absolutely does not care that the only country that fully used nuclear weapons was the United States, and its only victim in his own motherland. He would have to remind the President of the United States about this and demand repentance, which was never brought for this act of war by the American leadership. But no, Kishida is just an attendant for the Americans, and servants cannot have courage. It remains only to pity the Japanese. After all, such a shame can be wasted away only by committing a seppuku rite at a meeting of their cabinet upon their return. Although the concept of the horror of this generation of Japanese vassals is not typical. That is from what I understand, that is the statement that Medvedev made in reply to this statement from Biden and Kishida, the Japanese Prime Minister. Let's do a clown world now, and we'll wrap this video up. And let's see, this clown world, this is going to be a tough one to figure out whether I should post some of this on this video or what. But let me see. I think I'll post a little bit, some images, maybe a little snippet of the video. But we had the Miss Universe competition is taking place now in New Orleans. And the competition, from what I understand, has like a part where the contestants, they have to like wear, I guess, outfits that represent, I imagine they represent like the country, the history of the country, or certain news topics that are going on or stuff like that, and they have to wear these outfits that represent the country and what's going on in the country, either what's going on today or what's gone on in the past and stuff like that. And so the contestants come out there and they wear these elaborate outfits. Some of them are very classic and elegant. Some of them are pretty risky, pretty strange. Like, for example, El Salvador, in order to show off its use of Bitcoin as a currency, came out with an outfit of like a giant Bitcoin, which was kind of odd, and it was a little strange. And Ukraine came out with like these wings of an angel at war, I guess to symbolize I think it's the Archangel Michael, and symbolizing Ukraine's fight against Russia, I guess, was the theme there. Russia came out in an elegant dress with diamonds representing, I think it was representing like a Tsarist Russia in a way, designed by the Hermitage. And then you have the USA. And the USA, I don't know. I think maybe you guys can better comment on this. She had trouble walking because that outfit, which from what I understand represented landing on the moon and how women are going to be landing on the moon soon or something like that. So I remember listening to the intro when she came out, but man, the poor girl. I mean, she looked like she was having a really hard time walking with all of that weight on her. It was bizarre, man. I have to be honest. It was some of the outfits were pretty out there, but this one was really, really out there, really out there. And she was like struggling to walk. I mean, you could see that thing must have weighed a ton. Anyway, I guess that's my clown world in a way. I don't know. Are they? I don't know. I was going to say, are they trying to deliberately embarrass her, or I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand where the designers of this outfit were going with this. But yeah, that was odd. I guess we could talk about another clown world, which is Davos. There's like an evil clown world. Davos is also underway. 5 days of world leaders lecturing the world about how everyone should stop flying, stop driving, stop cooking on gas stoves, and everyone should start eating bugs. While they arrived in Davos on their private jets. Greenpeace actually said something like 1,000 plus private jets landed in Davos just for this 5-day meeting. And the list, of course, has all of the cool kids, all of the globalist cool kids. It's raining right now. Ursula and Schultz and Dancing Queen Sanna from Finland. She's going to be there. And business leaders from Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan and Citibank, and all these people are going to be there. John Kerry, the climate czar, he's going to be there as well. Russia is not going to be there. Russia is not invited to the WEF and to Klaus Schwab's shindigs anymore. They're very upset with Russia and with Putin. So Russia doesn't show up to the WEF, which makes Russia actually look so much better in the eyes of the world. I mean, it actually improves Russia's reputation, the fact that they've been barred from attending the Davos WEF. That seems like a plus for Russia. And of course, we're all awaiting some big Zelensky speech or something to take place. We know it's going to be happening. We got BlackRock negotiating with Zelensky so that they can grab the 700, 800 billion or 1 trillion in money that's going to be earmarked for Ukraine so they can gobble all of that up. We know that's going down as well. And the WEF is looking like they're coordinating this big deal anyway. 1,000 plus private jets. One of the jets actually traveled 21 kilometers. 21 kilometers. That was how far that private jet went. And they're going to lecture all of us about how we're the problem when it comes to the planet. All right, I'm going to leave it there. TheDuran.locals.com. Look for us on Rockfin as well. Go to the Duran shop, 10% off. Use the code GOODDAY. And how do I get out of here? There we go. And what else? We are on all the platforms. My channel, Alexandra's channel, the Duran channel, Telegram, Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute. If you like this video, hit that like. If you like this channel, please subscribe. If you don't like this channel, don't subscribe. I'm out of here. Take care.